Tennis proves we cannot multitask. One of the best resources for tennis is a book called The Inner Game of Tennis, written in the 70s by Tim Galloway. And I like it, and I use it a lot. And I use the idea about quieting the mind and just dealing with the ball. But what intrigues me is that in the 70s, he never used the word mindfulness, which is now all over our world. And in the 70s, he never used the word multitasking, which is again in our world. And what he was trying to suggest was that self one and self two, which is a little hard to explain, but it's sort of whether you could play unconsciously without judgment and without expectation, which is the goal. It had to do with how well you could watch the ball and how well you could quiet your mind. And so many times when I'm in lessons, I'll even ask somebody, just the other day, there was a young man here who goes to school at Tulane, and he wanted to work on his serve. So I asked him, I said, what are the thoughts you have in your mind or your prompts when serving? What are you hoping to do, or what do you tell yourself? And he told me about 5 things. And I didn't judge him, but I thought to myself, man, that's a lot of thinking when serving. And so I listened to his 5. I'm not sure I agreed with him, but then I said, pick one of them and tell me on the next few serves, can you do that? And what I started to see is that there was a lot of ideas in his head about how to serve. And I think because we learn this game verbally, cognitively, and everybody gives us advice, sometimes good, sometimes bad, there are so many words in our head when we're playing that those words are interfering. And even when I'm playing now, and I play with almost all my students, I'm really monitoring whether I can quiet and just see and feel the ball, nothing else. And sort of this mindfulness thought is that if you're meditating and you have a disturbing event cross your mind, you release it and go back to being calm. But to me, go back to The Inner Game of Tennis. It's worth a visit. Or you can go online, or go back to Mindset from Holland, and that's worth a look online or from the book. But so much of this game is taught mechanically and tactically, but do we ever really approach whether our head is in a good spot when we're playing tennis? And so that's my joke, that I really think that when I watch people play and the anger they have after errors and the judgment and the words, it's really saying you can't multitask and play tennis. And if you don't believe me, watch anybody on any court and how much dialogue they have after an error and whether the dialogue's even correct or not. But this is a game that's quiet and soft, and it's about the ball, and it's not about the winning, it's about the ball. And even my very first coach, Blackie, used to say, I'm not sure I did this well, before a match he'd say, play the ball, the winning takes care of itself. And as weird as that sounds, there's some real truth there, to play the ball and let every other aspect pass away. Tennis and multitasking, and you actually may be able to approach your own version of mindfulness on the tennis court. Pretty deep thoughts for a Thursday morning, sorry.